Joining me now is Richard Schulze, the founder of Best Buy. And Richard, it's great to see you. I know you've been spearheading the largest undergraduate entrepreneurship challenge in the U.S., which we'll talk about in a moment. But first, I wanted to get a sense of your retail outlook. Best Buy has largely weathered the Amazon threat. Why do you think this is?
Well, I think in all honesty, it's because of the connection Best Buy has to the consumer. The customer himself and herself, young and old, are really the core reason why our company has been successful over 5 decades. We continue to remain connected to the needs of the consumer and serve the customer in as comprehensive and as full a way as we possibly can. So whether that's in our stores, what are all staffed by professionals that are experts in the various areas of discipline, or online, where people can shop and buy from us any of the products and services we offer, and or in their homes, where our technical people obviously focus on putting all these things together in a comprehensive package that works easily and effectively for consumers. We think that's why we're here, why we've been successful, and why we would hope over time to continue to be successful.
And more broadly, what do you make of Amazon as a retailer? Do you have any opinions there?
Well, I think they introduced the whole concept of online retail, where consumers could buy a wide variety of products without experiencing an in-store form of connection. And certainly we were late to the game, but for the most part, I think we're catching up nicely. It's presently about 15% of Best Buy's business is now done online. And anything we can do to convenience consumers, obviously, whether it's following somebody who's done it successfully or whether it's pioneering it on our own, if it's in the best interest of the customer, we're going to find a way to do it.
Although Toys R Us, they certainly weren't late to the game in the toy business, and look what happened to them. They're now bankrupt. Do you think that's because of Amazon? Could it have been prevented?
Well, that's a very difficult question for me to answer. I've always felt that Toys R Us was an enterprising company that brought new and interesting and exciting toys to the marketplace. Not sure whether they lost their way or whether they were late to the game in making buying toys online as easy as others have done. So that's not really a question for me. But obviously we're sorry to see them go because they've been there a long, long time.
And what would a trade war with China mean for the retail sector? I mean, how does Best Buy operate in a post-tariff era?
Well, that's something that we're all studying right now. We're not sure how far that's going to go or how deep that will be. But it's pretty clear that in our world, so much of the product that we sell are manufactured in China or Korea or Japan, other places in Asia. And so it's very important to us that the manufacturers who are building those products there clearly are able to offer those products to our consumers where it's value, where it's quality, where it matters, to what our consumers want. And I think it's probably like anything else, a process where it'll be step by step in determination as to just how far does it go and what will the impact mean.
Because if these tariffs do go into place and if they do go far enough, I guess the end result would be higher prices for consumers. Would you agree with that?
Well, it certainly could and should, I would say, amount to some impact there. But it's probably quid pro quo, if you will. I think it's fair to say that many of the products that we export into other countries certainly would be likely to facing tariffs coming the other way. And I'm not sure that that's a win for anybody. So personally, I believe that we should let the free market determine what's best, for the consumer. And I'm an advocate of great value on high quality products that are made well for consumers, certainly in the United States and all the places where we come to market. So I would have to say that we're cautious and clearly communicating, the entire free market, if you will, open market concept, to our government and to all the players that we deal with in our industry.
And Richard, if you had to create another retailer, what would it be? Where are the opportunities in retail right now?
Well, I guess I would have to say that it certainly would be a combination of on-the-ground experiences where people actually have an opportunity to see, touch, feel, and experience whatever that product or service might be. And I think the convenience for consumers today who are increasingly more busy than ever before, having access to the product or the service online. And so it's a combination for me of any kind of company that focuses on doing what is in the best interest of the consumers that they're pursuing will be the basis upon which you could say they'll be successful.
And when you were starting what is now Best Buy, which I believe you mortgaged your house to do so, who was your role model during this time?
Well, I wish I could say that I had a role model. I played off the experience I had gotten from my days as a manufacturer's representative in selling consumer electronics products to other retailers. So I had an opportunity to study the way much of what was done back in the 1960s was really handled. And my view was that the more reasonable, the more interesting, and the easier we could bring products and services to the marketplace, the better it would be for consumers. So Sound of Music was the first step in that ladder, and it grew into Best Buy because we just continued to make it easier and easier for consumers to be in control of what it was they were buying. And so the stores got larger, the product offerings got more diverse, and consumers were more in control. Less intimidated, not tried to be sold anything, but rather pick what was best to solve whatever it is that their needs were. And I think any retailer today that looks at things that way can and certainly could be successful, should be successful.
And that's a good transition to what you're doing at the Schulze School of Entrepreneurship. You have a winner of the largest undergraduate entrepreneurship challenge in the U.S. to announce. Tell us about the program and who the winner is.
Well, thank you. Two young ladies that started a company called Expression Med managed to come right to the surface during this three-day competition. And both Megan Sharkas and Jackie Page, who are the principals in this company, were so high energy, so well focused, so well prepared to talk to us about the value around fashion adhesives for medical products that are used by type 1 diabetics. And literally blew the judging panel away with their clarity, their conviction, their passion, the work they did in building the partnerships with suppliers to help get the products to market. We were all so impressed. And not to say that we weren't with the other 25 candidates that were out there, because each and every one of them had great ideas. But at the end of the day, these two young ladies really won the day and came away with a $75,000 prize, which is going to help them market their products for the benefit of type 1 diabetics all over the world.
Wow. Well, congratulations to them. And Richard, before we go, what's one piece of advice that you would give some of these students?
I would say for sure, pursue your dream, do it with passion. Make sure the purpose fits the customer base that you're pursuing, and for sure, develop the perseverance it takes to stay in the game. Listen very carefully, find a mentor, and obviously build as many partnerships and as complete a network as you can to help get the kind of feedback that's important, to help your company win in the marketplace.
All right, Richard, we'll leave it there for right now. Richard Schulze, founder of Best Buy, thank you very much for joining us.